Hello. So today we'll start studying cloud security privacy policy, which is small covered in the unit 1 under the heading of risk. Here we'll see NIST guidelines, then we'll see GDPR and its guidelines, and then CDN security related issues. First of all, carefully plan before engaging to the whole cloud computing architecture. This has been said by the NIST guidelines and it's the primary step. So you need to do organizational data management, application management, resource management before doing involvement in the cloud computing era. So you have to form a accord, means agreement with the organizational security objectives. According to that, you have to make security plans and all these things. Then you have to do security and privacy throughout the system life cycle, and where you have to do application development and service provisioning. So for whole life cycle you have to do the analysis and security and privacy objective. Then you have to do design and implementation testing issues, all these things in the system life cycle. You have to monitor properly the deployment, engagement of service and decompositioning. So all these things during all these system life cycle you need to have a concern of security and privacy. Next, public cloud computing environment. In this public cloud computing environment, you have to monitor the security and privacy such that it should be find out earlier as soon as possible. Because if it was being found after the implementation and deployment, then it would be more difficult and expensive, and even it exposes unnecessary risk to your organization. So you need to discover the security and privacy threats as soon as possible. Then you have to access the security and privacy risk involved with the organization, means you have to calculate the security and privacy risk. Assess means calculation, where the organization should examine some of the policy, procedures and technical controls aligned with the cloud provider. Then continuous monitoring you have to do for the risk management, and it helps to do the organization maintaining some of the security, vulnerability and threats. Then you also need to continuously monitor some of the risk management issues that supports the organizational risk, your organizational risk decisions and all these things. Then you have to do proper legal agreement. In that negotiation agreement you have to do the vetting of the employees, means proper assessment, checking and alignment of the employees. Then you have to do the ownership of that data and all these things, and some of the existing rights should be there. Then breach of notification should be there. Then you have to do the management of tenant applications. Then the encryption and segregation of the data you need to manage. Then you have to do tracking and reporting of the service that could help the effectiveness, regulation of the laws and all these things, legal compliances you have to monitor. Then you have to do also do federal and national level of validation of your own product. Thus, you can have the proper argumentation with the security and privacy with the national and federal laws. So this work has been published in NIST with the name of Guidelines for Improving Security and Privacy in the Public Cloud Computing. Then you should also need to monitor the client side requirements. So the client side requirement we have to do monitoring. So the client side also have some of the problem aligned with the device that could also be vulnerable for the security and privacy issues with the cloud services. So internet should be monitored some facing problems with the client side requirements. So client side could also involve with some Trojan that could be vulnerable for the security and privacy issues. Then keystrokes logger should be monitored. Then type of malwares aligned with the client side application. So all these things, Trojan, loggers, and malware should be monitored properly for the client side as well. Then the organization should have complete review process, proper review process of measuring the cloud's computing security architecture. Then the organization should also have the measurement for the secure client side, means secure client side should be also be monitored by that organization. Next is the maintenance of accountability in public cloud. So the organization should actually monitor the assets that are required for the security and privacy. Then it has to keep on calculating the implementation of the policy, standards, procedure, and control followed for the security and privacy issues. The guidelines is also for establishing and protecting the most important features of software engineering like confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information system resources. So these confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the most fundamental topics of software engineering and network security. So these also need to be monitored before you go for maintaining the whole accountability of the public cloud. Then the continuous monitoring, as we had already discussed, for security involvement, for the maintaining awareness of that privacy and security control. Some vulnerability threats could be there. Threats are like Trojan or some of the malwares that we had know or we already know by the organization. So we need to continuously monitor all these security issues. Then you need to monitor also the security network of network information. Then you have to do the respond according to the acceptance and avoidability condition and mitigate towards the risk of the situation that keeps on changing. Means you have to monitor the changes happening to the service and that changes does not lead to the security or privacy issues. So all these things you have to keep on monitoring. The next we'll discuss the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR). So GDPR is a kind of regulation which was being followed by the European Union and the European Economical Area region. So this is for the protection and privacy of the data set inside the European Union and European economical areas. Actually, this kind of thing was basically for addressing the transfer issue, transferring some of the personal data outside the EU and EAA areas. You need to have the control over the personal data. This is mainly for providing control for personal data of citizens of European Union or some of the EEA region persons, which are actually being made by the European Parliament and Council of European Union. So what it says, it actually says for the regulation of applying to the European region. The regulation applies basically for the European region citizens, and the three type of stakeholders are come under the European Union GDPR. What are they? Three: the data controller organization that collect all the data from the European resident or citizens. Then some of the processors, like an organization processes the data on behalf of the data controller, like cloud service provider. Then the data subject means the persons itself whose data is under threat so that it should be protected. So that that person itself is said to be data subject. And the three stakeholder we had seen means from where the EU region where the GDPR regulation is applied. First, data controller; second, processor; third, data subject, that is the person whose data was there. So this is the way legal argument was being framed and which was being written so that the legal argument should be there. I'll read and to explain most of the things in this legal sentences. So it says that unless a data subject has provided informed consent to the data processing for one or more purpose, personal data may not be processed unless there is at least one legal basis to do so. So according to that, the data subject means the person or the citizen of the European Union or organization of the European Union whose data processing is meant for the processing purpose. So that personal data should not be processed until these six sentences do not fulfill. So means any data controller or any processor can't do processing of the data subject, means a person, if the sixth statement was not been approved. Means article 6 state the following lawful purpose. It says that if a data subject has given consent to do the processing of his or her personal data, means if the data subject or the person itself have given the permission that you process my data, then it's okay to process the data. Next, to fulfill the contract obligation with data subject for task at the request of the data subject who is in the process of entering into the contract. So it has to be contractual obligation in the starting with the data subject, means person, to do all this processing issues. then to comply with the data controller legal obligation. It may be possible that data controller has some legal obligation to process all these things. Then it also been possible to protect the vital interest of the data subject or another individual. Means it is interest of that subject or a person whose data was there to be processed, then to perform a task in the public interest or in the official authority. Means the person's data was not being processed personally. Means behavioral targeting should not be done for the particular person but for the entire community or a public interest or public welfare. Then may be possible to do this type of data processing. Then some legitimate interest of the data controller or the third party, unless these interests are overwritten by the interest of the data subject or her or his right according to the charter of a fundamental right, especially in the case of children. So these type of legal arguments was there for protecting the data of a particular data subject, means a particular citizen of the European Union or EAA region. So this type of arguments are there. Next, we'll see CDN security and the privacy policies. CDN actually gets profit from the two type of things. What are the two type of things? Either CDN gets profit from the content provider by using their own network. They provide the network, they provide edge servers to get the fast availability of the data. So the network usage they provide to the nearest client. This is the way they get profit. Second, the threatful situation is from the user analytics and doing the tracking of the data. So this will be tracking the user and its data. So this is one of the issue, privacy issue. So there is two type of threat could be possible in CDN. First threat is like potential threat of privacy intrusion to do the behavioral targeting. Means CDN provider can do a behavioral target, means analysis of a particular user and how it is behaving for a particular product purchasing and for doing shifting from one company to another company, one product to another. This type of behavioral targeting could be possible. What are the interest of that particular user? So this type of threat could be there. In that case, there is a policy named as same origin policy, which actually permits script if only if the pages have the same origin. Means only those scripts are permitted which are having the same origin. Means URI schemes are same, host name are same, and the port number is same. Only those scripts are being permitted for doing processing and for reading the page. Second type of threat could be possible like CDN network serving some of the JavaScript. So that JavaScript could have the injected malicious threat or the content involved in that JavaScript and all these pages. What type of policy should be there? There is a one policy that is sub-resource integrity, which protects this type of threat or this type of security and privacy vulnerability. So what sub-resource integrity says, it actually ensures the content is known or constrained to the hash reference by the website. Only the permitted and known content was being allowed to the final user with the help of hash referencing for the website. Then these are the references for the content that I have taken. And this was the link references that was being used for this work and these detailed links. So you can go and study those links. And thanks a lot for this series of part of this course. I hope you liked this series and this content and see you for the next series.